Hey everyone, Anthony here. So I'm just gonna go over a Facebook post that my ex-girlfriend wrote, and this isn't anything about me, but it's gonna show you some warning signs, red flags on people not to date, I guess. Back in 2000, when did we date? In 2013, I had a party at my house and I was drinking. I wasn't even drinking that much. I think I had like two or three beers. I wasn't really talking to anyone. And this was at the stage in my life where when I would go out with friends, I would drink like one or two beers, maybe three beers, and not really get drunk, not be crazy or anything like that. Because all that stuff happened when I was 20, 21, in 2005, 2006, around there. That's when I was all crazy and would break stuff and be really irresponsible and all that stuff. And I would lose a lot of friendships because of that. Yeah, some people thought I was awesome, and I'm getting like off track. But yeah, some people thought I was awesome and fun and all that. But then I would get drunk and text people at night, and there's so many reasons that I stopped drinking like that, like long, long ago. But so anyway, when I met this girl, I had a get together at my house, like a barbecue, and it was the first one that I had in so many years because it was like when I was 20, 21, the last time that I had parties. And now in 2013, I would be 26, I think, because I was born in 1986. So I'd be 27. Damn, I'm 35 now. This is a long time ago. I didn't have parties at my apartment for so long because of all the bad stuff that happened in 2000 when I was 20, 21. I feel like I should tell you guys like the whole backstory behind that, the parties at my house when I was 20, 21, and all that stuff. But anyway, I had a party at my house for the first time in like so long, and this girl came over. She was like friends of friends, and she walks in and she's like, "Oh, I want to meet Anthony. I want to meet Anthony." And I'm like, okay, like that's kind of weird. Like, why do you want to meet me or whatever? And it's interesting because it's the same exact thing. My first girlfriend that I had was at a party at my house. I guess I'm always like focused on like, oh, these videos shouldn't be so long, but let's just get everything out there. My first girlfriend happened at a party at my house, and it was a girl who was a friend of a friend, and she was the same. She's like, "Oh, I want to meet Anthony. I want to meet Anthony." I guess because all these people would be friends with me and would come over my house when I was 20, 21-ish, that she heard of it because all of her friends were coming over my house and she wanted to meet me or whatever. So this is my first girlfriend, and I was drunk and I kissed her and we like fooled around or had sex or whatever. That night we didn't really have sex. We were just like naked together. There's too many details that I'm not going to go into. So anyway, that was my first girlfriend. I didn't have a girlfriend since we broke up then, in like 2008 or something. We were together. So it was probably 2007. Yeah, it was 2007 because then I was 21. 2008 is when we broke up, and 2009 is when I was really depressed from that and trying to commit suicide and all that stuff. So I didn't have a girlfriend until 2013 was my next girlfriend, this girl that I'm about to tell you about, this Facebook post. It's so like interesting, like the similarities. That's the only way that I knew how to get a girlfriend, was to have a party at my house and a girl would come over and I'd be drunk because drinking would give me enough courage to just kiss them. And then like then after I this was my first experience getting a girlfriend, is that I had a party at my house, I was drunk, I kissed a girl and we fooled around or whatever. Then the next day she was like contacting me and wanted to hang out more and all that stuff. So that's the only way that I knew how to get a girlfriend. So I, in 2013, did like the same thing happened. I had a party at my house. A girl through a friend came over. I kissed her, and then the next day, this girl is messaging me saying like, "Oh, I would have slept with you that night, but our mutual friend hooked up with her friend in the spare bedroom of my apartment." So this girl is like, "I would have slept with you that night, but I had to look out over my friend, but you give me the vajingles." I'm like, "What the fuck are vajingles?" And I guess that means like vagina tingling or whatever. I'm like, that should already be a red flag, like right there. Like, girl wants to sleep with me, like it's like she didn't even want to sleep with me after we first met. It was like when she first walked into my house and was like, "Oh, I need to meet Anthony. I need to meet Anthony." That's when she like wanted to sleep with me. And me being like a lonely guy, no girlfriend, I'm like, "Oh, this girl's interested in me." I didn't do like any due diligence or like look into her. I did when we had this party, I did look into her, like, I learned her name and I looked up her Facebook page, and I'm like, whatever." Like, I did have, like, second thoughts about dating her because I saw she had 2 kids and, uh, had, like, crazy colored hair and all this stuff, but I was just lonely and just dated this girl. And man, the breakup was so horrible because she kept attacking me and attacking me. Like, I knew throughout the whole relationship, I never talked to her at all. She would come over my house on the weekends. We would sit on the couch and watch TV, then go out to a bar at night and drink, and then come home and have sex. And we'd go out to eat the next day. And so we would have like the weekend together. Well, for one, I never talked to her because me talking to a girl, it's always like as soon as I open my mouth and they get to know me, where I get to know them, then the relationship dies. So it's kind of like avoiding uh avoiding all the real stuff that actually matters in a relationship so that these issues don't get brought up so that our relationship lasts, which is fucking stupid because then you're just completely distant from each other. And we had problems like that in our relationship because one time we were out at a bar and she was drinking and was drinking, but not too much. Just like I said, I would only drink 1 or 2 beers when I would go out. But I was just standing there listening to the band and sometimes like going over and saying something to my friend or whatever, like turning next to my friend and saying something to him. And she got like real drunk and like stormed out and like pretty much ran away. And part of me was like, I just want to go home and just leave her and not chase after her. But I knew like the right thing to do was to chase after her. I didn't even try to figure out what was wrong. And we never talked about what happened like after everything happened. But I chased after her and tried to get her back into my car. And then we went back into my car and just went home and went to sleep after that. But like it's clear to me now what was going on is that she felt like disconnected from me and wasn't getting any attention or enough attention and stuff like that. And there was another time like that. I was outside washing my car, and she felt like I was ignoring her and not giving her attention or whatever. Like, I have stuff to do. I can't just spend an entire weekend uh, giving my undivided attention to someone, you know. But on the same thing, I totally understand how she felt because I was like really distant and closed off because I didn't want to open myself up to anyone. Because the last time I did that with my first girlfriend is when I got my heart broken and all that stuff. So so I kind of just closed off and all that. But yeah, this girl was well, she is, and like at the time and still now, she's like 2 or 3 years younger than me. So if I was 27, she would have been like, I think she was 24, whatever. And she had 2 kids. Uh, One of them was 5 at the time, so she was 19 when she had him, and then the other one was 2 or 3, both with the same guy. And I don't know. She was talking about how she met him at a bar and slept with him or whatever. I don't know, like I don't really know anything about their relationship or why they broke up or anything like that. We never talked about that stuff. But I could only assume he was just like a loser guy that didn't have a job and couldn't support the kids and all that stuff. I looked at like he had like a private Facebook account. I looked at like one or two of his pictures or whatever. That's like the assumption that I got, and that he was like a huge drug addict or not drug addict, drug user, addict, I would say. But anyway, so she recently, her and her boyfriend recently broke up, like a couple months or so ago, and they were together. I want to say maybe like 3 years or something. It's definitely like the longest relationship she ever had, because with me, we were together for less than a year. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Like with her kids and everything, and her family was huge alcoholics and would drink all the time, and their house is like all run down and in disarray and all this stuff. So she's living with her mom. Her parents are divorced. She's living with her mom. Her and her two kids were living with her mom and her mom's boyfriend at the house that she grew up in. All of them like smoked and drank, and her sister's husband would always moon everyone at all the holidays, and I'm like, you don't have you don't raise kids around this stuff. Like, all right, a 33-year-old man mooning everyone in the middle of family dinner. It was just clear to me that it wasn't something that I wanted to be a part of. Like, I knew I definitely didn't want to have kids with this girl because of all that stuff. And then obviously like her sexual market value is incredibly low. Her having two kids and being like going out to drink all the time and whatever. And also I didn't want this, like, it was a reoccurring cycle of every single weekend the same exact thing. She would come over on a set, she would drop her kids off at her ex-boyfriends at their father's, come over Saturday afternoon, we'd hang out, then go to a bar, then come home, have sex, then the next day go out to a restaurant to eat. It's the same repetitive stuff over and over again. And I didn't want to drink. I didn't want this like ridiculously boring life. And then it's always me having to pick out the places to eat and pick out the bars to go to. We would play pool, which I was into playing pool then, at the bar. And a lot of times it was just like we'd go to a small bar and it would just be like me and her playing pool in the back, which was cool. And then sometimes other guys would want to play pool, and I'd play against them or we'd play against them or whatever. All right, so onto this Facebook post. Like I said, she recently broke up with her boyfriend of 3 years, which was like the longest relationship she had. No, because the father of her kids, if she had a 2-year-old and her first kid was 5, then they were together for at least 3 years. So anyway, she broke up with her boyfriend. So this post here is like virtue signaling, saying like, oh, I have high market value or whatever. That's one of the things that I see with this. So she writes, "You're not like other girls" is not a compliment. Other girls fucking rock. I am literally an amalgamation of every badass chick I ever thought was cool. So this is like her criticizing men. This is just what I think, just what I see. Her criticizing men as like she's superior and better than men. Like, if someone says like, "Oh, you're not like other girls," like that is a compliment. Like, this guy is saying like, "You're not like everyone else that I dated," which is probably him having a lack of foresight, I guess, not knowing who this girl is and everything like that. And but like, why would you go and write a post? Like, if someone did say that to you, why would you go and write a post putting down men, saying like, "You're not like other girls" is not a compliment. It's putting down men. It's like a huge post just putting down men right there. So number one, if you have this girl, if you date this girl, she's going to be putting you down and everything like that. And that was like a thing with our relationship. Like one time I had the flu or something. I got like ridiculously sick, and I was moving from my first apartment to my second apartment all by myself. I didn't have anyone to help me at all, lifting all this stuff, packing everything. It was crazy. So then I finally get home and I lay in bed, and she didn't help me or anything like that. She was busy with her kids when I was moving. But after I'm done moving into this new apartment, I'm just sick and so tired, and I'm laying in bed, and she starts making fun of me, saying like, "You're not a man, suck it up," and whatever, because she wanted to go out and have fun or whatever. Like, why do I want a girl who, like, when I'm sick is gonna be selfish and not take care of me and not care about me and just like antagonize me until I do whatever she wants me to do or whatever? Other girls fucking rock. All right. So that's just reeks to me of like feminist and like all these girls who put down men and all that and talk each other up, and like you're a 30, 33, 34-year old girl now with two kids. You're not that great. You're not. If a guy goes to date you, he looks at, if he's a good guy, he looks at your kids and says, why am I dumping my resources and time into raising your kids? Why am I teaching your kids? Why am I looking after your kids like they're my own? Why should I raise them and teach them and dump my money and time into them? If he's a good boyfriend, he's gonna look at that and be like, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm out of here." Or he'll try to kill off your kids and with abuse and all that stuff, which you see a ton of that stuff in the news. He'll like neglect them and abuse them and whatever, to basically kill off your kids and separate you from your kids. And if you like this guy, you're gonna be drawn to him over your kids. And that's what she did with her ex-boyfriend. Oh, that's the other thing. She would want me to hit her kids. And she always told me like, "Oh, I wish I never had my kids. I wish I never had my kids." And I would look at that like, "You're really saying that about your kids? You're telling me you wish you never had your kids? What a horrible thing to say about your kids." But yeah, to continue, I am literally an amalgamation of every badass chick I ever thought was cool. So she likes being a badass. She looks up to badass chicks, which are like uh, aggressive badass chicks or whatever who don't take shit from anyone. But also at the same time, I have no idea how to be in relationships because they don't take shit from anyone. You're never gonna be able to communicate with a girl like that and be able to work out and have a relationship with someone like that. So then she goes on to say, what's wrong with women supporting women? Uh, because they have, it's not women supporting women, it's women ganging up against men. And whenever a man has a concern in the relationship or something, then it's this girl and all of her friends teaming up against this guy and convincing this girl that this guy is wrong and whatever. Ugh. I just looked at this girl's picture and was like, disgusting. What was I even thinking? But anyway, I'm out of there now. Scranton was filled with girls like that, like everywhere that I looked. It's like I would never be in a. Sorry about this. There's like some pool testing chemical got on my arm and on my hands. I'm like, I would never find a good girl to actually have a relationship with and not have to worry about getting divorced and all that stuff. Oh, that's the other thing too with women supporting women in this. If you do make a mistake, or if you do stand up for yourself, or if you do break up, like if she takes you to court, she's gonna not let up and be relentless about all this stuff. That's not something, like if you get married and have a divorce, that's not something you want to be around at all. I see my uncle go through that stuff with my ex aunt, and this girl did it to me and everything like that. Started making up all this crazy stuff in court about me. But yeah, so far the girls here that I've seen don't have crazy colored hair and tattoos. There's some of them like that, but there's still like a lot of them that I see that don't have that, and there's a lot of them that are family focused and everything like that. And a lot of them go to church, which is like crazy. You don't meet anyone that goes to church in Scranton, especially not younger girls. Uh, so I really do think that I have more hope of actually finding someone here, which is one of the things that I looked for when I was looking for places is divorce rates and church and family stuff, which has like the highest. Like I looked into the statistics about all that stuff. So, all right, that's the end of this video. Hopefully, it was useful to some of you guys. Take care. Thank you and goodbye.